this brother, I've known him for quite some time. He's been with the community, if I'm not mistaken, 7 years. 7 years, eight. Thank you for the correction again. 8 years. He started in the community or in the ministry of Singles for Christ as well. And he met his wife, Kat is here as well. Yes, outside, and their baby. So they met here in the community here in Perth, and they got married here, and not here in this parish, but they got married and continue with the journey in this community. So I'd like to introduce a good brother of mine, Brother Cyrus Panelo.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
1 o'clock is a very bad time. The Philippines, we call them fourth Filipino. This is the time when people are so sleepy and they tend to have difficulty paying attention. I was a teacher when I was in the Philippines, and I sometimes have 1 o'clock classes. And then, of course, I have to find ways and means on how to keep my students awake. So I keep telling them jokes. At the end of the day, they remember all the jokes, but none of the lesson. Okay? So that's the problem. So in the afternoon, it's a little bit difficult. Pay attention, but yeah, the talk will be interesting. I'll try to make it as interesting as I can. And then it won't be very long as well. But it's a very, very important concept in our Christian Life program. Our topic for this afternoon is God's love. That's the first talk. Okay? We should always remember that God loves us. No matter who we are, no matter where we are from, God loves us and He always has a wonderful plan for us. Yes, plans that are good and perfect. Okay, so no matter how hard we say, oh, I've been too bad, I've not been doing well, I don't like God, I don't believe in Him, I hate Him sometimes. But that doesn't change the fact that God loves us. And it doesn't matter who we are or where we're from or what we believe. That doesn't matter. Okay? God loves us and has a wonderful plan for us. So just a brief introduction. This is where I started with my journey in CFC. Okay, I started as part of Singles for Christ. This was our batch way back in 2011. As you can see, for the past 9 years, things have changed physically. Okay? I can never wear those clothes again. I still keep them in my closet, hoping that someday I may be able to, but I've been doing that for the past 7 years, I think, and nothing has changed. Okay? Next to me is my ex-girlfriend, who is now my wife. Okay? So we were classmates and batchmates in our SFC journey. That was taken during our CLP, just like what we had today. Okay, that we were classmates in our CLP when we were doing, we were still with Singles for Christ, and then we eventually matured, and then we got closer, and then we got married, and then we became members of the Couples for Christ. My wife is not here; she's outside with our baby. So that's what we are now. Okay, so the little boy is the product of our love, and his name is Cedric, and he is our son. Okay, so the life in CFC is not only limited to couples. Sometimes you say it's couples for Christ. No, it's not. It starts from birth down to the time that we go back to God's court. Okay, we have ministries in between. Okay, we started as Singles for Christ, and then we moved on to Couples for Christ, where we are now at the moment. So we still undergo the same CLP. Okay, so just going back to the topic, why is it that God's love is the first topic that we always have when we have CLP? Because that's the core concept of the whole journey. If we don't know that God loves us, it doesn't matter. Okay? Why would we be here in the first place? God doesn't love us anyway, so why would I need to study His Word? Why would I need to journey with Him? It's the foundation. it should be the first thing that we should know, that God loves us no matter who we are and what we are, what situation we are, or what we think. It doesn't matter what we think. The main fact is that God loves us. Love is not love if it is not shared. Okay? That's very important. God, in His almighty power, rules the entire universe. But He cannot express His being as a loving being if He doesn't have creations. He showed His love by sharing it to others. We have pets sometimes, we have kids. Sometimes when we are living alone, or sometimes in our lives that we may want to show our love, but we can't express it to someone. That's what God probably have felt. He, in His omniscience, His almighty power, His all-powerful, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. He wants to create something or someone so that He can share His love to them. Because we believe that God being love, love is not love if it is not being shared. In the beginning, if you're going to look at the Bible, okay, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth is formless and void, and darkness is present, and the Spirit of God overthrew the stillness of the water. So it was like all black and there's nothing when the world was formed. And God said, let there be light. He broke the silence. He created something. And that's where it all started. Okay? So that's the start of the beginning wherein God created something from nothing. So, God broke the deafening silence so that He can share His love. Of course, He has to do something, or He has to create some creation. There should be something that He should love in the first place. So God's love creates. Okay? One fundamental concept of God's love is that He created us so that He can express His love for us. I tried going through several beliefs and religions throughout the world before, and never have I seen a doctrine wherein it teaches that the God Almighty, or the Almighty Being that rules over the universe, okay, is the one expressing His love towards His creations. Okay, you can see religions wherein they have to pray to their gods so that they will be stronger. The gods that they have to receive their offerings. It's man trying to reach out to God. It's only in Christian doctrine and religion wherein it's God who is reaching out to man. Because God is a loving God. And if it's not shared, then therefore, He does not manifest love. So, God created us so He can share His love for us. So let's look at the creation first. Since God is the God of love, He is compelled by His very nature to create so He can share His love. So in the creation story, He created the world and everything in it in 6 days. Okay, He created light, He created the skies, He created the land and the seas, He created the sun, the moon, the stars, He created creatures and birds, land animals, and finally man. For each of these 6 days, He always says that God saw that it was good. In other words, He was saying, I'm happy with what I have done. I'm God Almighty. I want to express my love. I'll create something. Day one, I'll create something. Okay, I'm happy with this. So on and so forth. God did not cut corners. He made sure that all that He did, He was happy. And He prepared everything so that those that He is going to, those that all the creations that He did, wherein He's going to manifest His love, will be in a proper place. Like for example, He created man last, because man will be the one dominating all creations and feeding from all the trees and the leaves in the trees, the fruits in the garden. He did it last so that everything will be prepared before Him. That's how He manifested His love towards His creation. And on the 7th day, He finally rested. So He is a God who creates. And God saw that it was good. 6 times He mentioned And he saw that it was good. And on the second time he mentioned it, he mentioned God said that everything is good. And then he finally rested on the seventh day. God looked at everything he made and he found it to be very good. That's in Genesis 1:31. Now God was pretty happy with his creation. He had a garden, and then he had animals, he had birds in the sky, he had fish in the water, he had man. Be fruitful and multiply, dominate the earth. Everything you can eat, all the plants and all the fruits. Okay? And he gave them a very precious gift. The gift to decide for his own. God can just create man and make man a robot that will just follow him. But he didn't do that. What he did was that he gave man the freedom of choice. Okay? Everything you may eat, except for the fruit in the middle of the garden, which is the fruit of the good and evil. For once you have eaten it, you will surely die. If you don't eat it, you'll live forever. If you eat it, then you die. It's your decision. Okay? And then you go and then do what you need to do in the garden. You will be my steward and you look after it. Unfortunately, man rejected his creator by sinning. God's perfect creation, the creation that he did for 6 days before he rested, should have been perfect. Everything sustainable. No need for solar power, everything is there. No need for television, everything is there. They will be happy. But the problem is, man in his choice chose to disobey God. And that broke the bond between God and man. So it was sin who came into the picture and destroyed God's original plan. God could have just decided, okay, you disobeyed my word, I will just erase all of you and then we'll just do it all in repeat. I'll create a new set of creation. He could have done that. That is within his power. But he loved his creation so much that he said, I loved you when I created you, so therefore, I will find ways on how to redeem you later. Even though you have disobeyed me, okay, that was through Adam and Eve when they ate the forbidden fruit, I will still show you that I love you. In Genesis 3:21, God sent off Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden. If you read the passage, you will just picture out that they were sent off. That's the whole concept of the passage. They were just sent off. But there's a story behind. When they were sent off, they were wearing fig leaves. No? They were using leaves to cover their shame, their nakedness. And God knows that fig leaves, if you use leaves, they just wither in the next few days, and that won't be enough to protect them from the elements when they go outside. So when God asked them or compelled them to leave the garden, God made them clothes, skins, meaning leather, sheep's clothing, wool, that will protect them from the elements when they go out of the garden. God didn't just send them out, God made them clothes. If you read the passage before that, God said, everything you may eat, any fruit or any leaf or anything in the garden you may eat. God did not mention there that you eat any animals. When God got skins from those lambs and sheep to create clothing, that's the first time, some researchers say, that's the first time that there was death in the Garden of Eden. God has to kill those sheep so that he can remove the skins and make clothes for Adam and Eve. So when he sent off Adam and Eve, he gave them opportunities to survive, and he did something else. No? He has to kill something in order to provide clothes, which is also symbolic someday when Jesus Christ died on the cross. In order for man to live, death has to come for something that, or for someone who hasn't really done anything. Those sheep and lambs, they haven't done anything, but God killed them so that Adam and Eve may have clothes when they leave the garden. So God still showed his love even though he has already outcast Adam and Eve from the garden. Now, Adam and Eve are outside, they have to toil, so on and so forth. Okay? Less than 100 years after they were out from the garden, they bore sons. Of course, we know the story of Cain and Abel. It's a classic example. We say brothers against brothers, good against evil. Okay? Cain and Abel. Cain, farmer. Abel, a shepherd. They both sacrificed something. Abel sacrificed, pleased God. Cain sacrificed, didn't really please God. Because his heart was not right. And he was angry about it. He was jealous. And he killed Abel because of that. Okay? God was looking for Abel, and then Cain said, oh, I didn't really know. And then finally, he admitted that, oh, I killed Abel. Then you have to leave. You're an outcast again. Your mom and dad were outcast from the Garden of Eden. This time you will be outcast from this particular community because of your sin. Then Cain said, oh, if someone would see me, they would kill me because they know that I'm Cain. And God said, I will put a mark on your forehead so that if anyone kills you or harms you, they will be punished several times more. So even though God has outcast Cain, he still showed his love by putting a mark on Cain's forehead so that he will not be killed or he will not be hurt by anyone else. God still found ways on how to show his love, despite how evil the person is. Okay. They bore another son, Seth. Cain got married, so on and so forth. People populated. People started to lie, to kill, cheat. 1,500 years approximately after the death of Cain. Okay? People were starting to kill each other, and they were sinning once more. God said, I think there's something has to be done here. Let's start purging the earth. But I love this creation from the very beginning. I cannot just say, okay, I'll just destroy the earth and start again. No. Because I promised this generation or this creation that I will love them. I will erase this generation, but I will leave someone to continue. And that's where the story of Noah's Ark came into the picture. God decided to eliminate creation, okay? But despite of that, He created ways on how some generations